International global logistics, what is the characteristics? These are the two important aspects of global logistics. One, it is cross-border, meaning that you have to move from one country to another. Two different countries have different regulations, different climate, different environment, social, political, economic, legal, environmental. We call it PESTEL. P for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technology, L for legal, and E for environment. So all this will vary from one. So you have to take precaution. In your country, the cargo may not require refrigeration, but it goes to a dry Sahara land where the temperature is much high. You need a temperature controlled warehouse. That you have to keep in mind, right? And secondly, the next is the multimodal, which means the cargo don't go by one carrier. It is more than one mode. That means from truck, it will come to the port. From the port, it will go by ship. From the ship, it will again go by truck or trailer or by train. So, mode of transport can change. There are 5 modes we know: rail, road, air, water and pipeline. And every mode will get terminated in the nodes. 4 basic elements I have already told you: packaging, warehousing, material handling and transportation. And hence we can define a global supply chain management. It refers to all processes necessary to manage the material, to move it from the point of origin to the final destination, including the return logistics. Why do you return? Either you have received excess, or you have received in damaged conditions, or your use is over, now you want to dispose of. Hence, we need to see which mode of transportation suits us. Different modes have different advantage. Air, you can move the goods faster, but you cannot move it in large quantity. Water, you can move large quantity, but the goods cannot move faster. Hence, you have to trade off, whether it is speed or quantity, right? Rail, long distance. Road, shorter distance compared to rail. And in pipeline, it can, of course, only the liquid can move. And you see that I have given the comparison for the speed, cost and the variability. Now, this is very important. Now, rail may be cheaper than the roadways. But remember, rail says it will take 7 days to send the cargo. I have no problem. I will ship my cargo 7 days before. But there is variability in rail. 7 days becomes 9 days. So what is 2 additional days will have opportunity cost. And as a result, I may lose the customer. And therefore, I may agree that let my goods move by road in 5 days at a higher cost. So that trade-off you have to take. The quality variability is an important aspect to choose a mode of transport, and within that mode, the carrier. Say there are 5 transport provider, truck owners. One truck owner T1 gives you a lowest price. You are happy, but the thing is, it may take 5 days more to deliver the cargo. So all your advantage of the low cost is lost. As a result, the transit time variability must be accounted for. In global movement of goods, especially bag cargo and container, they don't move directly most of the time. They will go from one port to another port, that is called a transshipment port or a hub port, and from there it may move to another port, which is called another hub port or a feeder port. The smaller ports are connected towards the big ports. Big ports like Singapore, Colombo, Hong Kong, Klang in Malaysia, Dubai port, Rotterdam port. There the cargo will move from smaller ports like India, it moves to Singapore. In Singapore, it will go on board a big ship. From the Singapore, it will go to Dubai by a big ship. There it will again be unloaded and then move by a smaller feeder vessel to a port in Tanzania or Ghana. That is how the global routing takes place. The ships which move from hub to hub or the big ports, another big port, is called the deep sea lines or mainline vessels or mother vessels, and when it goes from smaller port to any other port, it is called a feeder vessel. At the end of the day, why are we doing a trade, domestic trade or international trade? Either you have a technology advantage, or you have a total land, labor, capital advantage, or your goods are liked by others, that is product differentiation, or consumer preference, they are liked by others, or you have an effective logistics system that brings down your cost and hence it becomes cheaper, or it can be influenced by the government who promotes by giving incentives to do foreign trade or domestic trade to a particular cargo. Government policy, there is an example here, you can look here. At the end of the day, you should understand that it is the total landed cost that matters for the customer. It is not the price of your goods alone. The price of your goods may be only $1, but the logistics cost is another $1. So the total landed cost is $2. Instead, there can be a price of the goods which is $1.5 and the logistics cost is only $25.25. Less, so the total amount is $1.75. That becomes cheaper. So individual cost of the product will not matter, especially in global logistics. It is the total landed cost that matters. And what does it include? It includes the ex-factory price plus the total cost of operation. The total cost of operation is the logistics cost, the insurance cost and the duties. Sometimes duties are not under your hand, it is not controllable. Factory, it is under the operations department. But logistics manager should ensure that the TCO is the lowest. Hence, how do you manage? So many things have to be done. It is cross-border. The rules, regulations are different. So many modes of transport has to be dealt with. The road, the rail, the air, the ship, they all come into the picture. And you are only expert in producing that material. You don't have the expertise in logistics. So one way could be that you have an alliance. The objective here is that you have to minimize the total cost of operation through your own people and your own process, or you can tie up with persons or organizations or entities who have lot of expertise, and that is you go for alliances. What are these alliances? This alliance could be ad hoc. Whenever you need to send the goods, you call for a logistics like the packers and movers, the Flipkart, the Blue Dart, and ask them to take your move. But if you have a long-term requirement, then you can have a great long-term contract like the way Flipkart has done. They have a contract with the Blue Dart and DHL. Or you can create your own logistics company like Tata's have done. Tata have their own logistics freight forwarding company called Tata Management International Logistics, TMIL. So what kind of an alliance that you can have? You can have a joint venture, you can have a long-term contract, you can have an ad hoc or short-term contracts, right? And therefore, let us summarize what we discussed so far. We said that all goods that needs to be moved from one point to another should be organized, and that is what is logistics management. Logistics management is organized movement of goods and people from one point to another. The moment you say it is organized, meaning you are addressing 5 R's. What is the R? Right. The right product means in terms of quantity and quality. The right place, send it at the right time, following the right practices. Mind it, all developed countries are looking for right practice. You cannot bribe, you cannot employ child labor, you cannot destroy the environment and the forest to do your business. Right practices at the right price. So these 5 R's have to be followed. It does not mean that when you send the goods, it has to be fast. I need it 10 days from now. So why should you send it by air? But I need it tomorrow. You send it by air. That time you should not say, sir, By air it will cost more. Let it cost more. I am ready to pay. Customers will pay for the quality of service you deliver. So it is the right cost or the right price. It is not the lowest cost or the lowest price. Because if you lower your cost, your speed will reduce and there will be a delay. And how do you do that? You have to ensure that the time and cost are such, all the 5 hours are according to what the customer wants. And accordingly, you design your logistics system. Choose those combination of the mode of transport according to the packaging of the goods. Choose those combination of material handling equipment according to the packaging and the transportation requirement. And take precautions by having worked with different agencies or the stakeholders. How many stakeholders did we discuss? Let us quickly have a look. First, we said the buyer, the seller, the packaging agency, the material handling agency, the warehousing agency, the transportation agency, the surveyor, the draft surveyor, the stevedore, the ports, right? In case of domestic, international logistics, the customs. My goodness, so many agencies. Hence, look for a specialized person or an organization. The third party logistics provider, 3PL, who can help you in all the 4 elements, that is packaging, warehousing, material handling and transportation. Third party logistics provider, 3PL, can always help you or help us in moving the goods from one point to another, taking all these nitty-gritties into consideration at the right price. So, thank you very much for having this patient hearing.